So one of the most important subjects is what we're going to talk about right now is stability on the project. And so you already know what those key concepts are and what we absolutely have to do to create stability on the project. So I won't take up a lot of your time, but I will tell you it's about getting it done. That's the biggest key consideration. I'll tell you a story from a book that I've read over and over, and he has these two neat little pictures. And in one picture, you look at it, and there's some grass, and you know that the picture's from Africa, and you look at it, and it's a little bit dark, and you're like, I see grass, right? And then you look at the second picture where it's zoomed in, and you'll see a picture of a lion. There's a lion inside, laying down inside the grass in the shade, and they call the grass in Africa on these tours adrenaline grass. And this adrenaline grass, they call it that because once the people on the tour buses find out that there's a lion 5 feet away with no guards and that thing could just come leap at you, your adrenaline starts to go. So they call it adrenaline grass. And all you had to do was look deeper. And so I love that analogy for superintendents because we have that beast, that lion within us that can go get this stuff done. People know that they need to keep clean job sites. They just don't do it because they're like 70% beast and 30% gazelle, which is what Eric Thomas always says. By the way, if you don't know about Eric Thomas, I need you to get on YouTube and start jamming out. That's my word again, jamming out to some of his content. He says, if you're 70% beast mode, but 30% gazelle, that's just enough for that other person that's competing with you. That's just enough for that other person to outdo you. And so what we have to do is find that beast mode, that lion within. We get that adrenaline going and actually like put our shoulders back and to get into a state where we'll get it done and make it happen. Because that's it. It really isn't the knowledge. It's the professional development, motivation, leverage piece to this that's holding us up. So I've said a couple of really forward things thus far, and I'm going to keep doing it for you supers. I was a career superintendent. I've been there. I've done what you do. I love you. I'm here to support you. If you can't keep a clean job, and that means on your water main install, on your site development project, at the mines, wherever you are, if you can't keep a clean job, then you can't do anything to 100% certainty on your project. Because that's what it all comes down to. But if you can get human beings to keep a remarkably clean project, that is safe, organized, and that is clean, you can do anything. There's nothing you can't do. You could get on camera like me. You could start your own business. You could create portions of world peace throughout the world. You can do anything if you can keep a job site clean. There's nothing harder, and yet you get to do it. There's nothing harder than that. You're welcome. That's your job. If you can keep your job clean, safe, and organized, you can do anything else. You can keep it on schedule. You can create flow. You can make a remarkable experience for the owner. You can finish on time. All of these other things. And so when we talk about stability, I need you to be just like General Patton. We salute. We have our helmets on. We train. We're on time. We practice like we want to play. Now, we're not in the military, but as soon as we cross that gate, as soon as we come onto that project site, we are ready to go to war. Like everything on that construction project is trying to kill you. Think about that for a minute. I'm not exaggerating. Does anybody think I'm exaggerating? Everything on that construction project is trying to kill you. That crane is trying to kill you. That loader is trying to kill you. Everything's trying to kill you. That trench is trying to kill you. Everything's trying to kill you. That high pressure water line. It's all going to get you. And if you're not acting and practicing and dressing and looking and thinking like a soldier, you're going to find yourself in harm's way and under fire. So as a superintendent, it's your job to create that stability. As soon as somebody comes across that fence, we are on point. We're ready to go. So your project has to be clean. And I would never have composite cleanup crews. I would never have a composite cleanup. I would always have the trade partners be responsible for their own messes. If you have the grading crew, they're just throwing stuff out to the side. No. all that gets picked up. The pipe crew, they're leaving trails of like cut pipe. No. That all gets picked up. Okay, whether you're in the mine, whether you're doing site development, whether you're doing structures, whatever you're doing in this wonderful dirt world of ours, we have to run a clean site. Okay, everything organized, every delivery goes in its place. Everyone's safe. Everyone is wearing their PPE. Everyone is following the rules. Now, I'm going to tip you off to a neat little concept, which may or may not be a surprise to you. Every one of your workers or foremen, they're smart people, and they can follow the rules. And so anytime that you sympathy vote them or other contractors and let them treat you like dirt, that's going to become a culture. As soon as you let them treat you any kind of way, like Eric Thomas says, that's going to become a culture. As soon as you tolerate the bad behavior on your project site, that's going to become a culture. And as soon as it becomes a culture, there's nothing else that matters. There's nothing else that matters. And so I want you to write this down. The success of any organization is determined by the worst behavior that you are willing to tolerate. The success of your project, your dirt job, is determined by the worst behavior that you are willing to tolerate. If there's an accident, you said it was okay. If there is a dirty area, you said it was okay. If there are workers that are working too fast, you said it was okay. If the bathrooms are messy, you said it was okay. Anything that happens on that project site, you said it was okay. Because as soon as you stop tolerating it, it can change tomorrow. Everything can change tomorrow as soon as you stop tolerating it. Now, I'm not talking about religiously. Don't be offended. I'm not being specific. With a lowercase g, you are the God of this world. You're the superintendent. This is your project. This is your domain. The sun rises and sets based on your command. You wave your hand and it happens. You are the God of this world. When I'm talking to supers and they're like, I told that person they didn't do it, or I have bad trade partners, or I didn't get the material, or the owner, well, stop whining. Like, oh my goodness, like you control everything. Control the project, stabilize it, and get it going to where all of your trade partners can succeed. That is the only way, just like in The Mandalorian, this is the way. Like that's how this jams. That's how this works. And we have to get our set points to where we are at 100%. I want perfect cleanliness. I want perfect safety. I want perfect organization. And once you stabilize, you can optimize. And so you will not optimize anything until it's stable. And so I'll teach you one last concept before we move on to the next video. There is no improvement without stability. There is no improvement without standards. So watch my hands here a little bit. Let's say this is your standard one day, this is your standard the next, then it goes higher the next day, then it's back down, then it's different. Answer me this question. Can you improve when it's all changing every day, when it's changing every day? The answer is no. So when somebody's like, oh, I want to make things better, I want to improve, there's no improvement until you stabilize. There's no improvement until there's a standard. You need a baseline. When you have a standard, this is how we do things, then you're like, oh, I want to improve it. Well, improve what? Well, improve what we've been doing, and we've seen it work long enough to where we know what to improve. Then you elevate. Then you're like, oh, I'm going to take a step higher. Work on it. Take a step higher. Work on it. Take a step higher. Work on it. And from standards and from stability is when you start to have that upward incline, that trajectory towards excellence. And so if you've stabilized yourself and your personal organization and you've stabilized the team, the next step is you have to have a remarkably stable project environment, because there's no other environment where operational excellence will ever succeed.